Hi everyone, I'm going to give you a quick tour of the parody X-70 editor, which can be used to control a Boss SE-70. To begin with, make sure that your Boss is hooked up properly at the back and connected to your MIDI interface. From here, click on the MIDI menu, look for the input and make sure that your device is selected, go to the output, go to device and make sure that your output is selected. Working from the top left to the bottom right, we've got various buttons and switches and drop-downs. To start with, let's look at the About. About tells you all about me, what I do, my work, and a link to buy me a coffee. If you do want to provide me with a gift, please do. They do help for future projects, and it's always much appreciated. To get back to the start, let's click on the clear button. When you do a factory reset of your Boss SE-70, you could choose standard or guitar as your preset option. You can then use the preset icon on the bottom left. So for example, in this case, I'm starting on standard, but I could change it to guitar, have a look at all the different guitar presets, or I can swap it back to standard and go from here. So you will select whatever you have selected upon factory reset. To load up something, what we have to do is select the combo menu, choose, in this case I'm going to go to rotary fast, and then this will load up the patch, the algorithm on all the associated data. We can see the algorithm name here, and we can see the preset name on the top. To edit, we click into the preset name, type in something that's sensible. I don't have anything to hand, I'm just going to type in Mono Freak. And then we start to make our edits. It's just a case of clicking onto a wheel, moving it up and down. Sometimes you might have to move it quite a fair bit, other times not, depending on how many values are already in there. So let's make some edits and drag these up and down. And we're making changes to the preset. To turn effects on and off, clicking on this button, dragging from left to right or right to left, we're switching things on and off. Pretty nice, straightforward and easy. After we've made our edits, what we have to do is click on the send button. The send will send all the information to the Boss SE-70 and we'll see a little full stop mark appearing on the top left of the LCD that indicates that something has changed and been sent to the Boss. Let's click send. And we've got a message here, right patch of the SE-70. We have to click right and accept the warning, and then it will send the information to the Boss SE-70. Sometimes it's really hard to fine-tune a preset and get it exactly right to taste. As a result, I build a live edit mode. In live edit mode, when you click on the live button and click on continue, any changes you make within the editor are actually live on your SE-70. Therefore, you can use it to really refine that sound and then save it as a preset. I would recommend it for doing preset editing, but probably not more than that because it does send a lot of data over at one go due to how the SE-70 was written. Now, it may be absolutely fine, but I don't know how these chips are written and if it can withstand a huge amount of writing. Live button's also really good for automation. Just going to click on the cancel button. The next thing to look at would be the matrix of the ins and outs. The way that Boss wrote the SE-70, originally you're only meant to be able to send a select few sound changes to a foot pedal. All of the different effects connected to the algorithm can be found on this combo box. You choose whatever that algorithm allows and you select something. So in this case I could do the ambient effect level and then I could choose different ins and outs and how it's controlled, whether it be through a keyboard or through a foot pedal, whatever it would be. It is limited, but then it only sends out small amounts of bytes. Therefore it's good if instead of doing the live mode, you only want to send a small amount of data over. What I'm going to be doing in the future is connecting all the information together so that you can run specific effects through Logic Pro by matching up the ins and outs through the following sections. If we look at control, let's change this one to CC7. And you can see on this dial here, it corresponds to 7. And therefore, what I would do in Logic Pro is go to automation, look at this particular wheel, make the automation, and it would be connecting to ambient, the effect level, and then it will change it dynamically as I type in my automation into the DAW. What I like about doing this is it will certainly save wear and tear. However, you can't automate everything, and this is where the live mode comes into its own. This is my very first editor and I plan to give it a proper overhaul to bring in features that I found have worked very well for the VF1 project. These features include a better preset selector where you'll be able to have your own user patches and have the factory patches baked in. The advantage of this is it'll free up a lot more spaces for you to store your own presets. I also intend to provide a load from file system where you can choose a sysx message that's been saved, load it in and then it will update the parameters accordingly. The final thing that I've not looked at so far is the reload button. If you click on the reload button, this will pull anything back that's already stored in memory and present it back on the screen for you to make your edits. I hope you found this guide useful and please do follow me for more. Like and subscribe. Please do gift because any of those coffees contribute to more projects. Thank you so much for listening and have a great day.